What's up, everybody? My name is Jay Valentino. This is my 6'3" Chevy Impala, and today we're going to be covering a lot of things: carburetor gaskets, flex plate issue, gas line rubber hoses being replaced, fuel pump being replaced, rods, valves, lifters, a little more info on that as well, and also, I did forget to mention that we bent a rod. We bent all the rods actually because I did them too tight. That's another thing that I'm gonna cover as well. Basically, we're having some issues with the valves getting loose, and I kept tightening them because I thought they were getting loose, and then here we are with the bent rod. The way to check these is just to roll them and see if they're not rolling straight. They'll have like a little click, and then if they stop rolling, they'll kind of roll back and forth. So there's a bunch of ways to check them. My Chevy 350, my other Chevy 350 right here, had bent rods as well. So I'm kind of shit out of luck, and I gotta buy new ones. But yeah, that's also another thing I almost forgot to mention. Okay, so new gasket right here. So we're just gonna pop this on right here. Okay, so now that we got the carburetor on, just gonna put the new hardware on. I'm gonna hope and pray that it's not my timing again, because I have timed this car one too many times, and I've got it to top dead center. I'm pretty sure. Like I took off the what is it called? The valve cover, and I checked to see if the lifter was all the way at the top, and it was every single time. So I'm praying it's not my timing, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that could be the battery. So she is still giving out, but runs a lot better. So I'm gonna turn up the idle a little bit. Oh, there we go. And then I'm gonna squirt that a little bit. So I think right about 4 it does pretty well. It sounds pretty good. This fucking nut is gonna drive me crazy because I don't know if you guys can see, but this is wiggling hella, and I'm guessing because of the nut that it's got on here, it doesn't have a locking nut, especially, or a locking washer. So all the rattling is causing it to shake loose, because I've tightened this fucking bolt down like a billion times. It's coming from the front. Is it the fan? Okay, so now there's a clunking sound, and I really don't know where that shit's coming from, but I'm gonna try and figure that out right now. So let's. So it's a new day, and I know you're probably wondering, you're only supposed to do the carburetor. Why is everything apart? So if you didn't hear in that last video, we have ticking, and it was coming from this loose valve right here on cylinder number 3. So the right thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out, check to see if the rod is bent, and then go from there. I don't know if you can see as well. We also have a lot of oil in the, or water in the oil, so it's a little bit of a mess. It's a little bit of a mess, but we'll figure it out. All right. So after a couple hours of fighting the headers to get on, and now we're charging the battery, and we're gonna see if that is charged up because we kind of killed it. Trying to get the airbags filled because the compressor just kills it. I'm gonna show you what I got going. So after a couple of hours, I made this contraption. I know I can do pretty much everything. I'm telling you guys. So basically what I did is I put on these block huggers because I hate my other ones. And then on top of that, I'm gonna get them. On top of that, I'm gonna get these, I'm gonna take this to a shop, get these welded on correctly because on the bottom they're kind of crooked, which is why I had to put it out, you know, do that. So now we got left is, well, I put this on regularly so that we don't have to do that on that side. And then, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna time the engine. So it's a new day. You can see behind me, we got the valve covers off again. I rebuilt the entire thing, retimed it, I did all that jazz. I thought I fixed the valve lash on the rocker arms. I didn't. I went over it before, and I got all the. At least I thought I did. I probably didn't do it right. A little more educated now, and we're gonna retighten these rocker arms. So I'm gonna bring you along with me, show you what I do, and if you want to take, I highly advise you don't take it. Watch a professional do it. But so there's one over here specifically that I wanted to pay attention to, and this is a great example of what you should not have. So if you can see, let me bring you in closer. So if you can see right there, if you move it up and down, it's going up and down like that. You're not supposed to have it like that. This will clank, and then it'll give you a large clanking noise that doesn't sound like a rod knock, or like a valve knock. It'll be more of just like a big nasty clank. So I ended up fixing it on this side, but it ended up moving because I didn't do it correctly. So it ended up moving all the way to the passenger side. Okay, so I ended up putting on the valve covers just off camera because right now I need to move fast. We're losing a lot of light. So I put everything back on. I put the spark plugs and everything, the valve covers back on, and now the last step is just to time it. So I'm gonna time it on camera. Okay, so now we got the battery hooked up. I'm gonna turn it on. We're gonna see if it clanks anymore, and hopefully this solved the issue. I did notice that I don't think I did it correctly last time because basically when you're turning it, it's not supposed to be easy to turn. It's supposed to be pretty tight when you turn the nut. I noticed as I kept doing, like, I think I half-assed it before, maybe did like 1 or 2 revolutions, but I did 4 this time. So I noticed that each revolution they got tighter. So they're all pretty tight now. None of them are really easy to tighten. That's how it should be. Or else you might need new nuts and you might have to replace them. So we're gonna test this out, see if I solve the issue, and hope for the best. Okay, so it started up, but instantly gave out. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn up the idle, because that right there was definitely not enough time. It usually, man, it's really cold out. It usually needs like a couple spins, like maybe a couple revolutions, like maybe on the second revolution of it turning, doing a full turn, it'll make that clank. So let's turn that up and make it. Okay, so right now we got a new issue. The fuel filter isn't full. No idea why, but we'll see right now. I think my fuel pump just went out. Jesus. You know, I mean it when I say shit. It's always a new thing. Fucking every time I'm trying to film a video, it's always a new thing. New day, new fuel pump. I didn't even check if the fuel pump was good because I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer and show you why. But I got the wrong fuel pump a while ago, and basically rookie mistake as usual. I got one for a 350, so it was for a different model car, and the ports didn't line up for the fuel line. I'll show you what it is, but basically I just bought a new one because I'm gonna need to replace it anyways. I got the wrong ports for the little nipples or whatever. I got the wrong ones. I did 3/8 for a 3/8, but it's a 1/4 to a 3/8. So I gotta go back and get that. But I wasn't gonna show how to install this, but you know, the video's long enough, so might as well. Okay, so there's a couple things I'd like to mention. One, this is what I was talking about with the fuel pump. You don't want it to look like that. And then also, two, when you're taking off these fuel lines, don't use this. I was a rookie and I used this and I rounded off the fucking nut. So don't use that. Please use a hex wrench or whatever these. I think a flare nut wrench is what it's called. Use them on this so you don't strip any of the bolts and make another rookie mistake like I did. And then on top of that, there's a bolt right here, right there. And I put it on where the negative cable goes. There's a bolt right here that you want to put in before you take off the fuel pump so that it keeps the fuel pump on the fuel, I forget what it's called, on the back, so it doesn't drop down, and then it makes this a hassle to take it off. So you want to put a bolt in that first before you do that. So then after that, once you have a bolt in there, so you want to have a bolt right there. So I thought I had a long enough bolt to fit everything, but I guess I didn't. So now we're gonna have to fish this thing out. So I took off the old gasket. I'm gonna put the new one on, and you want to get as much gasket as you can off. And let's say you don't have the bolt in there, and it doesn't look like this, and the rod is down. You want to spin the engine over until the rod loosens up. So, and then you'll be able to move this with your finger, and then just push it up. It's kind of gonna be a hassle, but once you get it down, it'll be pretty easy. And then you could put a bolt in there to hold it while you try and adjust this. So I'm gonna put this in right now, and then I'm gonna set you guys up. Okay, so I am gonna put a little bit of RTV on the gasket. So you just want to put like a light coat on this, nothing too crazy. All right, so after you get a little bit of RTV on that, you're gonna want to take a bolt, kind of put that in. Okay, so once you put the gasket on, let it dry a little bit and let it sit. You can take the bolts out, and then you can put the new one in. Okay, so you're gonna go like this, just pop it in, real simple. So now that I got everything on, and the line is, if you notice the difference of this one, the lines are out this way instead of one coming from the back and one coming from the front. So now I'm just gonna cut to fit this long piece that goes to the filter, and then I'm gonna to the filter, and then to the actual gas line. I'm gonna cut to fit this one. Basically, that's about it. That's all you gotta do. Okay, so I got the fuel line set up. I got everything tight, I got everything tightened down really well. You want to go really tight, like extra tight on these, because even when you think they're tight, they'll most likely won't be, and they'll leak. So right now I'm going to run this, see if we get any fuel to the filter, and see if this thing can run. So I'm going to see if we have any leaks after. All right, so what ended up happening was the gas line has 3 rubber pieces to it, and these are the 3 rubber pieces, and this one was a little beat up, but I only took off 2, and it wasn't holding pressure, so I wasn't getting any gas basically pulled from the tank. because this one was all messed up and there was like a hole in it, so it was like kind of like popped off. So I ended up just replacing those two. And there's one in the front right here. And that was the one that wasn't letting it get to, so it was getting like 75% of the way. It just needed to clear this last piece to get to the fuel pump so that it can shoot up. And that one was just popped off. But since, you know, we're gonna replace that one, might as well replace the rest. Okay. All right, so an update. We have the new fuel injection fuel line. You do want to get fuel injection fuel line because this fuel line is a lot better than regular fuel hose, and it'll probably last you a lot longer as well. So these right here are the leftovers. As you can see, they're definitely all rotten and cracked and just dried out. So they're a little bit of a bitch to get off. I'm gonna show you exactly where and how I got them off. Basically, you gotta turn this and kind of break it off. You can use, these are the tools that I used. I'm sure there's a tool for it, but this is what I used. So now I'm just gonna install the lines and show you the process of that. Okay, so this is how it looks. I got the clamps back on there and got that clamp right there. It's definitely gonna take some time to get this on. Definitely some wiggling. I know you can put it in gasoline and it'll expand. So if you put it in gasoline for a little bit, let it expand, it'll be a lot easier. And then you can also put a certain type of grease. I just don't know what type of grease and I didn't have time to find out. So you can't put a grease like on here on like the little hose fittings on the metal part to make it slide off easier, or slide on and slide off easier. I think it's like a silicone grease or something like that. So this is the back part, and then I'm gonna do the front part right now as well. So now we got the fuel line hooked up for this. This is the one at the front. There is 3, but I didn't want to do the third one, or the middle one. So there's this one right here, and this is towards the drive shaft and the rear suspension, all right here. And this one looks perfectly fine, so I'm not even gonna try and like get that one off. So I just did the front one, put the clamps back on, and got it in there kind of tight. I'm gonna check to see right now if we got any leaks. Okay, so I'm gonna check to see if I have fuel getting to the filter, and then on top of that, I'm gonna check to see if there's any leaks coming out of any of the new fuel lines that we just put. Okay, so it's a new day and a whole nother new fuel pump later. And basically, we are installing the fuel pump because the one that O'Reilly gave me didn't work. So if you do get a mechanical fuel pump, kind of like this, this little part right here is supposed to be stiff. It's supposed to be really hard to push in. The one they gave me was super loose and it wasn't sucking in any air. So basically, if you take these little ports out, one of them should be sucking in air. So when you push this in, so you want to get like a vise or something to hold it, and then you push this in like that, and then you put your finger on one of these ends, and then you'll figure out which one's sucking in fuel. And the other one was really hard to push, or really easy to push in. So that's basically, we had to get a whole new other fuel pump. So hopefully this one works, and then we can get some fuel to the engine and see what's going on with that. So the fuel filter is on, and when I looked in the box, it looked the exact same, but I see this new port now, and I don't think they gave me the exact one that I needed. So I'm gonna see what this port does, and see if I can still run it without it, or like plugging it or something. I'm gonna see what it does, and then let's see if we get fuel. Let's see if we get fuel to the filter. So we did end up getting fuel to the filter, and then as well as the carburetor. So it started up, but we still got that clicking. So the torque converter was a new issue. Basically, the torque converter wasn't on correctly, and it was loose. So that was a part of the clanks that was happening. The torque converter that connects to the flex plate. So there's 3 bolts that you get, and you have to get specific bolts. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's a 3/8 bolt with a 5/16 flat washer, grade 8. You want to get everything grade 8 fine thread, with a grade 8 locking nut. And this is just some shit that they kind of just threw on there, and it's too long. And basically what was happening is, so this is the bolt right here, it was tightening, and then this part, it was sticking out way too much, it was too long, and it was hitting the torque converter, and it was kind of grinding into the torque converter. So basically what was happening was it was just free spinning, not really tightening, and you need the torque converter, you need the flex plate to be on the torque converter really tight, or else it's just not going to be aligned properly, and a bunch of things are just going to happen. So we got to get a new one of those. My next moves for this are just gonna be the electrical. Get the electrical done. I'm gonna put the wheel wells back on. Route the insulation, or route all the wires. Put the insulation on. Heat shrink. Get it all just nice and just looking good and neat. So that when we put the fenders and the hood back on, everything will just be done, and then I can finally complete that project, which is the wiring, because I have all these little projects started and I can't finish one, so I'm gonna try and finish that. I think I'm gonna chill on the engine right now and just buying shit, because I gotta buy new valves because the rods are bent. So I'm just gonna take a guess and say the valves are bent. I don't even want to fuck with them, to be honest with you. So rods, valves. I'm gonna get polylock nuts. Polylock nuts are really good. You definitely want to invest in those. I'm gonna get those, and then if they, I might have to get new lifters as well. That's gonna be another thing, because I've been looking into it, and this dude had the same situation that I'm in right now, and he had to get whole new lifters because it was his lifters that were causing the issues. So that's a whole nother thing that I gotta figure out. For those of you that don't know, I got my car stolen, my daily driver, stolen a little while ago. So right now, I'm just gonna prioritize and only make videos on the things that I have. Because right now, if I spend any more on this, I'm gonna be out of budget for a daily car. And as much as I want to spend money on this, I gotta like really prioritize, because being carless is kind of a bitch. And I literally got 2 cars that don't fucking work. Like, they're just chilling right here. I got a Toyota Camry that just been chilling with no engine in it. So I think once I drop this video and the electrical video, I think I'm already lacking on videos, but I'm probably gonna not post it until I get my car, my daily, and then fucking get a job after that, so that I can actually start putting more work and putting more money into this. So I just thought I'd let you guys know what's going on, since I don't really post that often. But that's basically what I've just been doing, just trying to get this shit done, trying to get a daily driver, and just fucking get back on my shit. So, but yeah, thank you guys for supporting me and watching all my videos. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.